U.S. Senator David Perdue is on the line. And, of course, you've heard all the ads. He is running for re-election to his post on the U.S. Senate in the January 5th runoff. Good morning, U.S. Senator David Perdue. How are you?
I'm great, Elizabeth. I hope you are. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year in advance of 2021 to you. Hopefully good things are ahead of us in the coming year. And I want to take a moment to just say this because I saw an article that somebody had posted online the other night talking about how much money has been spent in terms of advertising for this campaign, for you, for your opponent, for Kelly, for Raphael. There's been a lot of money spent on that. And people are saying things like, how this money could probably be better spent towards COVID-19 relief efforts, towards the businesses that have been impacted. And I got to thinking about it after seeing my friend's comments. There are a lot of local businesses, local media outlets that have benefited from your campaign that are very grateful for the opportunity, number one, to get the support for our business through these campaigns. And not only that, but to have the resources to be the ones to put back into our community with the local retailers, with the nonprofits. So, I know there's a lot of criticism, but from our standpoint, we're grateful. And we know to whom much is given, of much is expected. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That definitely got my cogs turning when I saw that comment the other night.
Well, Elizabeth, I'm an outsider to this political process, and it just shocks me at the size and the money that has come into this particular race. 85% of my opponent's money has come from outside the state. They come down here and try to steal these two seats. I think people of Georgia who know and believe in the values that made America great are standing up right now. We see it in the polls. We're the last line of defense against this radical socialist agenda that the Democrats are trying to perpetrate. They want total control. They want to take over Congress. And then they want to, implement this agenda that they've told us it's in their national Democratic platform. They want to defund the police. And how crazy is that? I mean, look out at Portland, Oregon, the anarchy. Look at L.A. and Chicago. But you only have to look at Atlanta right now. I mean, we're now tied as the murder capital of the world on a per capita basis. This is insanity. So we're fighting it. We know that Kelly Loeffler and I know that this is the last line of defense against that, and we're doing everything we can. This is the last day of early voting, Elizabeth, and I so appreciate you calling that out on your program. This is the last day of statewide early voting, and I'm encouraging everybody. It's our responsibility to get out and vote. If you believe like I do, you got to stand up and fight. If you're upset about what happened in November to the president and to me, then I'm telling people, help us fight. And the only way we can fight is get out and vote for January 5th. We're doing everything we can to make sure that the January 5th vote is honest and straightforward, fair, and transparent. And I'm confident it will be. So I'm just telling everybody to get out and vote. Thanks.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about COVID-19 relief efforts because to look at the ads, you've taken a lot of flack for that over the last several months.
Well, what's happened is the first round, we brought $47 billion to the state. That's about twice what our state budget is. We saved 1.5 million jobs, and then we saw that we had to have an extension to it, and the Democrats were playing presidential politics, partisan politics, and blocked it at every turn. We tried and tried and tried. And finally, here, we've just gotten this bill passed. The president doesn't like some of the things in the big omnibus bill that it was put with. But over the weekend, on Christmas Day, I worked with him. We worked all weekend. There were other people involved, Secretary Treasurer Steve Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, others, Lindsey Graham, to really get to a point. The president knew we had to have help. So what we've done is we passed and signed another $1 trillion, half of which is reprogrammed money from the first round of CARES. And that money is now flowing. Some of the first checks were sent out on Monday, and those are really desperately needed. The Democrats are still playing partisan politics this week, though. You can see it around the $2,000 vote that the president wants right now. I support that. But the Democrats, again, are talking about blocking that vote because it's tied in with a 230 vote to rein in big tech and what they're doing.
Let's talk about the remainder of the campaign trail for you. Of course, we are now less than a week away from the actual runoff. What's ahead for you over the next few days?
Elizabeth, we're on the way to Bremen right now. We will finish tonight after about 10 bus stops My cousin Sonny Perdue and Gary Black are doing their tour today. We're going to participate in that. Kelly Loeffler's out doing the same thing. We will have our 100th in my campaign alone. We'll have our 100th stop tonight in Hiawassee. So this is my Hey Howard to Hiawassee tour, Win Georgia and Save America. So that's all we're doing. Over the weekend, we're just continuing to be out talking to real people. We'll make over 140 stops before this whole thing is over. President Trump is coming in Monday night. We think Vice President Pence may be coming in again. We know there are other members of the First Family coming to help us. Kellyanne Conway, other people. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is on a statewide call tonight. I mean, this is all hands on deck because we know we won't get another chance. If we miss this vote and somehow lose these 2 seats, we won't get a chance to correct this probably in my lifetime because Chuck Schumer will have total control. They will change the rules, and then they will be in power for a long, long time.
We're rapidly running out of time. We got about 30 seconds. My guest via telephone this segment, U.S. Senator David Perdue. In about 30 seconds, anything else we've not already covered that you want to make sure listeners know about?
Look, we're all upset about what happened in November, and we still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. A lot of people are upset about President Trump and the outcome. I missed my 50% vote by just a few thousand votes. I beat my opponent by 2 points, and yet because I missed 50% by a few thousand votes, I'm in this runoff. I'm telling people, if you're upset about that, the only recourse we all have is to get out and vote. Let's get revenge. Let's make sure that we don't let these Democrats perpetrate this thing again. If we get our vote out, 2.5 million votes, we will win this thing.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. Again, my guest this segment, U.S. Senator David Perdue. David, I hope that you and your family have a happy new year. And regardless of what happens on the other side of this campaign, hopefully you'll get to catch up on some rest.
Elizabeth, God bless you. Happy New Year. 21 is going to be a much better year.
I'm certainly keeping my fingers crossed. Again, U.S. Senator David Perdue, the guest.